Start your day.
A pain point still, and we've not gotten over that hurdle just yet. Two gentlemen join us in the room, as I told you earlier on. Salim Suleiman is the secretary of Murang'a Teachers Welfare Association. Joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Mwalimu Peter Amunga is an education advocate and a researcher with Kewota. He's also here this morning. Good morning.
Pleasure to be here again.
Good to have you here.
Yeah.
We said when you came, we can see.
Yeah, I'm bubbling.
It wants to come. Okay, so it will come up just now. We'll have a conversation about it because people have been speaking for you. Now let's have you speak.
Yeah.
But before we do that, Dennis will share today's proverb. We'd love to get your interpretation of it.
So the proverb today is not from any specific country. It's from all the countries in the continent that have a beach, that have a coast. You know, Ndu is from the coastal area in Nigeria and loves it. But we have palm trees and we have coconuts.
Yes.
And with these, we have these trees. Yeah. How do you climb it? But these people are saying there is no shortcut to get to the top of these coconut trees and palm trees. What do you think they meant? Mwalimu?
Yes, there's no shortcut to get up to the mnazi. In Swahili, they call it mnazi. It's true. You can't use a ladder because if you use a ladder, it will not work. If you want something nice, like a coconut, like the fruit, the mnazi fruit itself, you have sharti winami. You have to do the right way. You have to go up the tree. You have to follow the system. You have to follow the law. You have to. So for me, it just means you want it, then go for it the right way.
The right way. Salim, how would you interpret it?
Yeah, so thank you very much. This morning I'm very glad to be here. And maybe before I interpret that proverb, I would wish to bring greetings from all the teachers who are watching us in this nation, and most specifically teachers from Murang'a County. You see, when you're climbing up the Munazi, preparation is needed. And like my fellow senior said here, that there is a procedure of climbing up the Munazi. And like he said, you cannot use a ladder. There is a very special item they use. They tie on both legs. And when they climb up, usually, when you see those men do it, they usually do it while they do not have anything, any shirt, you know. So it is a procedure that must be followed to the letter. So, and when I usually relate that to the education system, is that whatever we're seeing, whatever we're viewing, whatever we're hearing, is that procedures are never followed, things are happening, and most specifically, public participation is done after the implementation of policies. Thank you.
You know, when you're climbing, the reason why they don't have anything is so that they don't slide. So you also have to keep hugging.
Yeah, hugging
So if you have a Gucci shirt, by the time you're getting on top,
Yeah.
Chi.
it's
The ghoul
has
is gone. We could go.
Yeah.
But okay. Of course, great interpretations from you.
Yeah.
So we, of course, has been a pain point over what was going to happen with teachers' medical insurance. That when we look at the tiers of SHA, it was a pseudo tier. This one for police and teachers, kind of okay. There's that tier that was going to take care of teachers' medical insurance. For the longest time, teachers' medical insurance has been under Aeon Minette, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about money in the billions of shillings.
Sure.
This comes from teachers' deductions, and you pay a certain amount of money for medical insurance.
Sure.
That meant that teachers were not under SHA.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, right?
Yeah.
So teachers were not under SHA when they went to hospital. It was not SHA taking care of their bills. There has been certain communication over time and said, okay, you know what? Was it becoming too expensive? Were there some political conversations about who should handle medical insurance? So they said, you know what? Come to State House. So we went to State House that day. And from your own admissions, that was one of the major issues that was discussed
Sure.
at State House, what we're going to do for teachers' medical cover.
Yeah.
No sooner than everybody had gone back to where they were, it was announced that it's not going to happen anymore, and that teachers are going to move to SHA after successful deliberations.
Sure.
But then we've seen a couple of conversations thereafter, and teachers went to Mombasa.
Yeah.
You had a conversation. People said, no. You didn't follow the due diligence. You didn't talk to us. You went, and it was unlawful because there was not. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start with you, Marimo.
Yeah.
You don't want SHA?
I don't want breaking illegalities. I think that's what I don't want. And most Kenyans who love this country, who are great citizens of this nation, we love things to follow the law, do the things according to the statutes of the land. This country is not a banana republic. It's a country ruled by a very, very progressive constitution. And the reason why some of us are enjoying this space and I have the ability to be in such a lovely studio is because of people fought. People went to jail. People lost their lives fighting for this kind of space. And so even everything that we want to do as a nation, we are telling this country in very good and very wonderful words, follow the law, get everything right first. And that's why I support the proverb we have had this morning. If you want to climb a coconut tree, you have to do it the right way, follow the procedure. And what is ailing our education system right now has just been that all along, we don't seem to all follow the procedure of the right way of doing things. We are like what Kwame Nkrumah said at the inception of the Republic of Ghana. He said, the African man is like a man who is late to catch a train. So the train has already left the station, and the African man with his bags and everything is running after the train to catch up and be on the train. That is our biggest problem. The train has always left. It's like we are always in some kind of an accident, a crash program.
Crisis.
We are in a crisis management system. We never just seem to get it right from the beginning. And nature abhors that. Nature abhors. Even you look at the way things work in the ecosystem. Even how the moon goes around the earth goes around the sun. It's so systematic. God was a person of systems. That's our problem. So, our issue of going to SHA may be a good thing. Maybe SHA will turn out to be good than the other program. But we just didn't get it right in the beginning. We started by calling us for a meeting where I ended up with some 10,000 in my pocket. And my colleagues also got the same. And in such a very powerful meeting, we ended up singing political slogans. Yeah, we ended up singing things like 2 terms, and all. And our union officials led us in such a big deliberation to make political statements. That simply meant we already derailed ourselves. The moment you start doing things politically, you are already losing it.
Okay.
Then, so we got into this system where we are now, but there was no public participation. The rush. Last 2 days ago, I have complained even in a show like this. Teacher Service Commission wrote to the former provider, that is Minet, and told them, provide us with all the data. Now, data is a very sensitive thing.
Yes.
Data protection is part of the laws in this country. You can't just transfer my information, Mr. Munga is suffering from this and all that, suddenly just like that to somebody else without having gone through the due process. That alone is breaking the law. For another thing, we discovered as teachers, SHA is not an insurance company. It's not an insurance provider. SHA is a fund. There's a very big difference between an insurance and a fund. A fund can run out of funds. Now, what happens when this fund runs dry?
Okay, I have to stop
Yeah.
there. Because these questions that you're asking now seem to be questions that you should have asked
Then.
when you were at State House
House.
Avenue that day when you received the 10,000 shillings.
Yes.
We'll come back to that in a minute.
Sure.
We'll come back to that. Also, Suleiman, were you at State House?
I was not at State House.
But you heard what happened.
But I saw.
Okay.
I was glued.
So help us to understand
Yes.
how on Saturday,
All
this
right.
thing was very nice.
All right.
And people said 2 term, 1 term, whatever it is that they said,
yes.
and it was okay. But then Monday morning is when people said, It's like a hangover. You wake up and you're like, okay, where was I the last couple of days? And you realize, hold on a minute, this is essentially what they're saying we should do. The things that Mwalimu Amunga is saying this morning make sense because those are questions that you should have asked on that day. Sure. It's a fund, it's not an insurance. Who's going to take care of these things? Who's going to hand over the data? Things that would happen anyway. So is it disingenuous to ask these questions after the fact?
So thank you for the question. And on a lighter note, maybe Bonamunga after the show, I think the 10,000 still remains. So I think we'll take some heavy breakfast. I'll answer this as a classroom teacher who is a contributor and also someone who's going to benefit per se from this fund. You see, it's like when you buy someone a suit and then after 2-3 days, this person says, you know what, I really don't need this suit. I think the best thing to do is to ask, why don't you need that suit? I mean, is it the color? Is it the texture? What could be the problem? And I think that is the biggest issue we are having surrounding this issue because we have a representation problem. And whatever Munga is saying is that, truth be told, as classroom teachers, we observe, we learn, we see what is happening in this sphere. We have leaders in our union who are also in bed with government. And I'll say this bluntly without any fear of contradiction. Bonamunga, now that he went to State House, I'm sure that he's very much more than aware that our chairman in our Kupet union is called Amboko Melemba.
My friend. Yeah.
He's a friend. Now, you can imagine this is our chairperson in Kupet. This is the person who should be representing our issues, taking our negotiations at the table of government. Now, this friend of my brother Munga here is again the deputy secretary in the UDA political party. So one leg is in government and another leg purports to represent the issues of teachers. So how do you expect this person to go to the negotiation table and negotiate for us against his boss? So that is one thing probably I would wish our seniors here like Munga should be calling out these leaders because it stems from representation. Number two, I feel as classroom teachers, we've been taken for a ride for a very long time. Why? We are never involved when it comes to critical decision making. Back in 2015-2016, our medical allowance was scrapped off from our payslips. It was around 3,000 thereabout. And then after some time, we were told now, I don't know how they understood that teachers cannot handle the 3,000 for their medical allowance. So we were taken to AON, it went all the way to Minute, and now we wake up one day, we are told by 1st December, all teachers, all teachers will be moved to SHA. It was my prayer that, whatever now you're asking here, we should have been asked as teachers, what is ailing Minute? Because last year we were on the streets. And of course I must agree here because when you hear their analogies they're trying to push is that teachers were against Minute. But what they're not trying to tell the Kenyan citizens is what was the problem with Minute as teachers? Because
was there a problem?
There was a problem.
What was the problem?
One of the problem was one, we needed specialized attention. We needed specialized doctors. Remember, after we were pushed to Minute, the insurance companies established outlets, that is a Bliss hospitals in each and every county. And when you move to those hospitals, you realize that there were services which were very limited. And what you were asking and what you were pleading was that is it possible to have specialized doctors to give specialized attention? And we were not asking much. We were saying that largely the group of teachers are parents. So we were saying, can't we have a pediatrician in some of these Bliss hospitals so that our children can get a specialized attention from pediatricians? And number two, can we get gynecologists? Because we saw that most of our ladies are suffering from that. So we were asking, is it possible to have these specialized doctors in these facilities? Number two, we were having an issue with delaying in referrals.
Yes.
And it was not so much per se. So we were saying, can it be possible to ensure that we have a smooth way of ensuring that if I want to get a referral to a facility, it becomes easy, and the issue of medications also. But when we were asking these questions, because these offices have got representations and they've got people and personnel, and the answer they were giving us was very simple. It was one, and maybe before I say this answer, one of also the greatest problems we had with Minute was this: they credited our facilities which were supposed to be providing services to teachers. You could wake up one day, walk to a facility, and then you could get
A notice.
a notice saying that Minet for teachers. And they were specific. And remember, we have got very many people under
Yeah.
Minet.
Yeah.
They'll say Minet for teachers is not working.
Has been suspended.
Has been suspended. But Minet for the police forces is working.
Did you ask why?
And
Yeah.
exactly.
course.
And we used to ask why. And the answer was very simple.
Yeah.
That money was not being
Funding.
remitted
All right.
to
the
these
money
facilities.
that has been deducted from
The
your
Yes.
money, the
Yes.
money
All
which
right.
has been deducted from our pay slips is not being remitted
Wonderful. Yeah.
Okay.
to these facilities. And that's why they could not,
beg.
provide for us the services.
Okay.
I beg. I want to ask.
Ask.
These things that you've said, the things that were discussed, I'm going to go back to State House.
Yes.
Because the people who are making these proclamations were there.
Yes.
They were there.
Yes.
Were there.
All right. Mind you, the State House meeting was the 13th of September.
That's true.
Today is the 2nd of
December.
December. 2 months.
Yeah.
60 days. There is that 60 days
60
again.
days.
All right.
Yeah.
That is when it was.
Yeah.
Of the things that were mentioned,
Yeah.
it was number 11
Yes. In the 11 of the.
of the, I don't know how many, there are about
Yeah.
15.
There were 15.
There were
yeah.
15. It was
Yeah.
number 11.
Yeah.
That the government will review
Yeah.
the current teachers' medical cover to ensure it is aligned with the present health needs of teachers and their families. All these things that you said, Suleiman, that can we have,
Yes.
Specialized
doctors, specialists in particular places,
Yeah, sure.
all of that would have been done. When this thing was mentioned, and maybe we'll pardon you a little bit because you were not there, but then you had
I followed.
you followed the
Yes.
proceedings
Yes.
thereafter. Mwalimu was there with a flurry of other people. All the unions, all the teachers' unions
Yes.
were represented
Yes.
there,
They were.
And associations.
and associations.
Yes.
So was it just a proclamation
Yes.
that was made that we're going to make it better, and then everybody clapped and said, "Yay, one, two time"? Or was it interrogated and said, okay, when you say you're going to make it better, will you do these things that Suleiman is talking about? Will you do these things whereby we walk up to hospital one day and then we don't see a sign saying a minute for teachers doesn't exist? Or was it just a statement that said we'll make it better, then everybody was very happy and wanted to go home? And did you start to interrogate these things then come 15th September, which was Monday? Because it feels very difficult to understand that something was said on the 13th of September.
Yeah.
Everybody accepted it, got their fare to go back to where they came from. All 10,000 of you.
Yeah.
And then went back. Monday, the 15th came. Didn't hear nothing.
Sure.
22nd, this is a week later. 22nd of September came.
Nothing.
Nothing. 29th of September came. We went to October. Nothing. But then suddenly, around 22nd of November, when the thing is coming, December 1st is coming,
Yeah.
then people started shouting, oh, no, didn't follow the rule. You even went to Mombasa
Yes.
to discuss this thing.
Yes.
Rule of law was not followed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where were you?
Yes. A wonderful question. Actually, at State House, the issue of the medical cover didn't come from the unions. That's something I've always reminded us. Actually, I came to discover personally why we were called to State House was not to talk all these other things we're talking about 11, 10-point agenda or 15-point agenda. The main agenda was the medical cover. But it was, interestingly, it didn't come from us. The head of state himself stood up and said, I know you people have been suffering with your insurance cover. I am aware that you are not comfortable. Then he said, yes, we knew it's true. The issues that Suleiman has said are the issues we had. We knew we have had some issues with the insurance cover. And then he also enumerated them. Actually, he said it himself. There are delays, there are what? All these things, some of them he mentioned them himself, the president, the head of state.
Yes.
Now, once he had mentioned them, he said, and I have a solution for you. I want us to review it. I want us to think about it and review it. And now we stood up with our chairs. We said, hallelujah. Because it's true, we wanted some reviews, as he says. Now, unknown to us, you know that sometimes people like us don't see the bigger picture. Many Kenyans, somebody was in a country somewhere and said, sometimes Kenyans are slow thinkers. It's true. It includes some of them like me. We sat there and we just thought, okay, we have received the Messiah. We are going to see heaven or whatever. So we didn't imagine we need just a review and it's going to be a good one. So as days went by, we discovered the review is about making sure all of us are in SHA. Now, the tendering process normally has to be there. It was not done. Procurement, it is in our laws, in our CBA. Like the Minet cover is entrenched in our CBA. I was working as a personal assistant to Wilson Sosion at NAT. I am among the people who burned the midnight oil in ensuring that this thing was entrenched in this CBA. The current one, SHA, is not in our CBA. You know what? A CBA comes by negotiation. So the
Yes.
president said, I will even want people to sit down with the employer and sort it out. Well, it's true, the union sat with the employer sometime 2 or 3 weeks ago at a place called Kenya Institute of Government. And the union said, yeah, we have been told what is going to happen and we are comfortable. We are happy. Then we asked when we went to Mombasa, but public participation, we were told your unions are the people who are publicly participating for you. If we have your unions with us, then it means we have talked to you. If the unions have not talked to you, we have talked to the unions. So that's what we were answered at Teacher Service Commission. But the teachers who are in Mombasa, they were basically primary school head teachers. They went to stations like this one and said, we are not aware. We don't know what's happening. We don't know the hospitals that we shall go to. Yes, Mr. Suleiman.
Yes.
It is true there were complaints. The thing is, SHA has come in and it seems to carry even more problems than what we were having in Minet.
So, Mwalimu, you see, we're here talking about public participation. And there's what TSC told you, right? That once they speak to your unions, they have spoken to. Because then, at that point, your employer looks at the union as a collective of its members, right? So rightfully so, from the aspect of the employer, they have spoken to you. But question is, did the unions speak to its members on the intentions of moving from Minet to SHA? And now that did not happen, did the unions fail teachers? And if so, what's the recourse?
So thank you so much for that question, and I'll just bluntly answer that. We were never consulted as teachers. There was nothing like public participation to be asked, like as the consumers of this current medical insurance cover. What are the issues? What are the problems? How well would you wish us to solve these issues? None of those happened, and I must say that. It stems from representation, it stems from leadership. Allow me say this before maybe we look at now what should be the way forward now that our unions seemed to have failed us. This communication was done to us, I think it is dated 25th of November from the Teacher Service Commission, and they have now given us the benefit, the scheme structure. And one of the questions we used to ask Minet, we have seen now they have carried some of the issues here. And you see, there is a tendency in this country that they wish to excite citizens by saying that we have allocated more money. You see, the previous, I think it was 15 billion, and now we are talking about 21 billion. So by allocating more money, it should mean that now we are going to cater for you, you are going to benefit. But we know, like my senior said here, anything that ends with the word fund, Wezo Fund, Youth Fund. Now our allowance has been taken to public officers, medical scheme fund. You know, anything in this country which ends with the fund, you are sure that meme of will work quite well on that. Allow me mention this, that under Minet we had a package called Group Life.
Group Life, yeah.
That when you pass on as a parent who is a family, apart from the last expense money which you're given to cater for the burial, your family is given the group life cover amounting to 450,000 to cater for the family and to ensure that the family is okay. Now under Minet that has been scrapped off. I mean under SHA that has been scrapped off, and we're wondering what is going to happen to that. One of the questions we used to ask ourselves under Minet was this: when it came to maternity cover, we could not understand the logic behind allocating a principal, with all due respect to our ladies and our mothers. A principal who's at D5 is being allocated a maternity cover of 300,000. And a teacher who's at when you are fresh from university and when you join the force, when you are an undergraduate, you join at C2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have been allocated a maternity cover of 120,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you ask yourself, between these 21, 22, 23, 24-year-old teacher and a 55-year-old teacher, who should get more money for maternity cover?
Well, one must ask if a 55-year-old female teacher is still having a child.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, and that tells you that that is why you see there was a very big rush to ensure that our money is taken. And you can be certain and you can be sure that this principal is not going to use this 300,000 per year.
But you saw this after it had already been put down on paper?
It has just been released, 25th of November.
Yeah.
So you see, actually, what we are saying and what he's just saying is very true. We have not been given the time. Even the unions, I was in this studio with Omboko Milemba. I have been talking to people like Colin. So by 2 days before we were shifted or migrated to SHA, they didn't have these documents. And I got to discover why. The reason why the signing has taken long and why these documents were not released on time, it was the fear that somebody will go to court. The fear was when you break the law, and that's what we started by saying, the moment these things would have been released, somebody would have gone to court immediately and put an injunction. I can tell you, with our courts, this thing would not have seen the light of day. Up to yesterday, the first document to show that teachers have actually migrated came out yesterday, when they already had migrated. And when I asked Teacher Service Commission, why have you been delaying with this document? Somebody whispered to me, people like you will go to court. You'll use it against us. So by now, if I went to court, I'll be told it has been overtaken by events. We're already in SHA, and we cannot remove our teachers from hospitals just because we've gone to court. Well, let me put it this way. The issue that is facing us is grave. It's a very grave matter. The list of hospitals that people will have to enjoy, like him, is from Muranga. Sure. When you go through the list of hospitals that Muranga has been awarded, you may discover among them is Thika level 5. You may discover maybe you have to go to Nyeri General Hospital. You may discover that for small illnesses, you start with dispensaries at level 2. I live around Imara Daima. The teachers who teach at Mbakazi Girls have told me they'll go to Mukuru Kwanjenga, a hospital in Kurukwanje. I'm not despising it. It's okay. It's a hospital. They have to start from there. You can't get that referral they talk about there, like talk about Kenyatta or Aga Khan or Mbagadi, before you start at Mukuru level 2 hospital. Teachers will have to line up there. Now, those are the things that teachers are hurting. A teacher wrote to me on my page and said, I come from Kakamega, some place called Butere, Wisero. For me the hospital that I'm supposed to access through SHA is Kakamega General Hospital.
You can't just go to anyone.
You can't just go to any hospital now,
Okay.
anywhere there. So for you to be given medication of, say, malaria, your child is suffering malaria, that child will have to pay for a vehicle or a boda 200, 300 shillings to Kakamega General Hospital. Now, we know what happens at the General Hospital, unless you are not a Kenyan. If once you reach there, you may be given some Panadols and a few things, and you may also be written a small note to go and buy, if it's a drug that is a bit weighty, from the nearest chemist. So who will speak on behalf of these teachers? This teacher will have to spend 300 to go to Kakamega General, spend another 300 to come back to his house, and he has to maybe buy some other drugs. So in other words, they are just saying, we have been thrown under the bus.
Mwalimu, I ask this to both of you.
All right.
These issues that we're now discussing in here, unions went to State House, had a discussion with the president, 10,000 was given, China mandati was good, right? Here is now a situation where, first of all, we're finding that even the documentation that teachers ought to have gone through to know exactly what they're getting themselves into never got out on time. That on the day when migration, as per the agreement, is happening, is when our documents are getting in. And it is because we are trying to delay the situation to the last minute so that teachers do not go to court for redress. But while at that, we have the unions. The unions who went and sat down with the president. They're the people who were invited to sit down with the president. And at that point, have you raised these issues with the unions? And what is their response? Because they are the ones pretty much who've walked you straight into the fire?
Sure. So thank you. Maybe I'll answer before my senior comes in. Allow me to talk about the issue of the list. To shock you, the list of hospitals was released yesterday.
It's yesterday.
And in
Yesterday.
fact,
That's true.
Yeah, it was
After we had migrated.
It was released yesterday.
Yes.
And that is when we received. I think it was posted on our walls at
Around
around 8
8
p.m.
in the evening, but we had seen it
Yeah.
around 11.
Around
So
11.
it is also 8 p.m.
8
Yes.
p.m. So the list was released yesterday, and Marquette was not maybe categorized per county.
Yeah.
It was just kutoka juu up to
8,000
number
facilities.
8,000 and plus facilities, close to 9,000 facilities. And one of the questions which was lingering in our minds as teachers was that, yes, of course, we are moving from the number of facilities, which was around 900,
Yeah.
and now they are
going to
purporting
9,000.
now they have improved because we are now going to have 9,000 facilities. But then you ask yourself one question: if they were not able to remit funds to these 900
This
facilities,
900.
so how are they going? Which miracle is going to
Which
happen?
miracle is this?
That now they are going to remit funds to these close to 9,000 facilities which they are purporting to have. One of the questions I think teachers are asking themselves this morning, because we are at limbo.
It's literally this morning, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
this
morning.
morning. Yeah. So one of the questions we're asking ourselves is this: yes, you've provided a list of these facilities, and I'm sure currently, as we're speaking, every teacher, apart from those who are now in the examination centers marking.
Yeah.
Right now, every teacher has got that list,
They're looking at it.
looking at the facilities around their place of stay. So the issue is this: you know, when you are under minute, and I must say that in Kiswahili tunasema mgala moyo hakimpe, that if I wanted to access, for example, prime care, that is now categorized as facility level 6B.
Level 6, yeah.
Level 6B. All I needed to do was to go to a Bliss hospital,
Yeah, they have
right?
them all over, yeah.
And then I go there,
They refer
seek
you.
for a referral,
Yeah.
and then within 1 hour or so, I am at prime care
Yeah.
being attended.
Yes, true.
But whatever Munga is saying here is what is troubling most of us as teachers, because we are now wondering the way the structure of SHA is that when you get ill, you need to begin with the level 2
Yeah.
or level 3 hospital.
Mukuru.
And truth be said, I'm not going to sugarcoat. Let me just say that
Yes.
the conditions in level 2 and level 3
Oh, my.
hospitals in our counties, they are so much deplorable. And telling teachers to go and begin
There.
their
Line up
medications there to line there, it is very much not in order.
I want to clarify what you said earlier, that under
Right.
the private insurance, because Minute is private.
Yeah, sure.
Under private insurance,
Yes.
you had a problem, you want to go to hospital, you
Yes.
would send in communication, and within an hour you're told you can come here
Yeah,
for
sure.
diagnosis and treatment.
Exactly.
All right, so that's the difference. All right, please
Yes.
carry on.
Yeah, so what I was saying was that some of these facilities which have now been listed as level 5 and level 6, one of the questions we are asking ourselves is this: they have beautified this medical cover as comprehensive.
Yeah.
You see our union representatives speak, you hear the PS Mwangangi speak, the minister, the CSL speak, that we
Yes.
have given teachers a comprehensive medical
Yeah.
cover. And I don't know why most of these people, when they give examples, they say that we have increased your last expense money from 200 to 300,000. The last expense, you wanataka tukufe or
Yes,
anything
they
like
want
that.
to-
So the biggest issue is this: these facilities, level 5 and level 6 hospitals, are they going to treat teachers in the outpatient, that a teacher can walk to this facility and get treated and walk out? And this morning, a teacher has confirmed for me
Yes.
via text that that is not possible.
It's not possible.
Hey. And so those are some of the questions. So
And-
those are some of the queries we're asking ourselves this morning. That yes, you have increased the number of facilities, and I can tell you, if you do an analysis, 99, let's say 95% of those facilities, they are level 2,
Yeah.
level 3, and level 4
Yeah.
facilities.
Metro asked a question which I think I need to say something about. He said, so did your unions have they addressed this? What you seem to ask that kind of question.
Yeah.
Now, the issue is our unions, and what are we going to do about it to our unions for failing us on this? We have our way. And I've told them, and this studio and many other studios that have appeared, we are sending them home. We have elections this coming January. The thing that will bury unions and union leaders, and I told my friend Omboko, I've told Akelo Misori, I've told all of them, and Salim is here.
Yes,
Salim
sir.
is a classroom teacher.
Yes.
He's a voter in Kupet.
Yes.
He has a voter's card, he'll vote.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, there's no way you'll go to Muranga and win Kupet elections with people like Salim there. Because once they realize that you have duped them, that you signed a wrong document, many of their careers in trade unionism is done and dusted.
Because what we're talking about here is the numbers, isn't it? So
Yes,
let's
sir.
look at this in a little bit. How many teachers are there in Kenya? We know that 10,000 went to State House. How many teachers are there?
400,000 right now.
400,000.
400,000 teachers.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
they are dependents because they're talking 5 dependents.
Okay, so let's just look at the teachers. Just there's something we're doing with this.
Yeah.
That there's an amount of money that's deducted from your salary as a teacher.
Yeah.
So are these teachers active? 400,000 teachers active in Kenya at the moment?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're
active
They're
teachers.
active teachers,
TSC.
Yes, TSC. Those
All
are
right.
TSC.
All right. And there's an amount that you pay that goes towards SHA. It's taken from your salary every
Yes.
month.
Yes.
How much is that?
2.7% of your salary.
salary.
Mm.
So
So
let's
if you earn 10,000, 2,000,
If you earn 10,000 shillings, you're essentially
200 and
giving
something.
275 bob.
Yes.
All right. So let's go with 275 shillings, shall we?
Yes.
Because we have teachers along the job grade.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't believe there's a teacher in Kenya earning below 10,000 shillings.
No, all of them is
Except-
above 20.
except at the-
about
24.
JSS.
Except at the ECD level, which is
Yes.
counties. So we're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
dealing with that right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I know.
All right. So let's take 275. Of course, we know that those earning more than that are going to be contributing more. But we're
2,000
gonna-
and above. Some of
For
them.
sure. But let's go with 275.
Yeah.
All right. 200. I know Dennis is already saying
Times
275. We're
400,000
looking at 110 million shillings a month.
a month.
All right. Can you see why that's attractive?
Yeah.
You've not even finished.
I'm just doing a month.
Yes.
I'm just doing that's the
We
money
are also paying.
that's the money that comes from your
medical
salary
allowance.
on the lower side.
Suleiman will tell you
Uh,
that apart from that one, you're saying that is now what everybody pays.
Pays, yeah.
But we as teachers also are getting a medical allowance of around 3,000. My job group by the time I left was around 4,000. 4,000 shillings of mine was going towards the medical. I used to get in my payslip.
How many?
Now
of
I don't
you-
get it.
How many of you are paying this being paid this 4,000 shillings a month, which was just for medical?
every teacher.
Every teacher.
Every teacher.
Every teacher.
Every
Okay.
teacher was
So,
entitled.
so that 275 add the 3,000. Put averagely 3,000.
So what we're saying essentially here, 400,000 teachers, active teachers, and
Yeah.
if we're active, we know that
Yes.
you're teaching somewhere,
Sure.
times 3,275.
Yes.
Remember, this is on the lower side because we've
Yeah,
taken
on the lower side.
275 as
Yes.
the...
It is
Very
on the,
basic.
it is on the lowest
It's the,
side.
it's the lowest.
275 is too low.
Because
Yeah,
we're
it's
dealing
too
with
low.
275.
Most teachers are actually paying around
1,000.
1,000.
Yeah. Most
I wish you had
teachers-
put it at 1,000.
Okay, we can still do that. That's
Yeah.
the joy
Just
of a
do it.
digital
Yeah.
calculator because we can delete
Most of
it.
us are paying
All right?
1,000.
So 400,000 shillings,
Yeah.
and we're
Times
doing that
4,000.
times 4,000 shillings. All right?
Yeah.
My calculator has even refused. Because now we're looking at about 1.6 billion.
Billion.
That's true.
1.7.
1.7 billion
B.
shillings
Per month.
a
A month.
month.
Now you are talking.
All right.
Yes.
Can you see why
So
that
this is
kind
a big
why that kind
business.
of money is attractive?
Yes. Yes.
So that's why let me not say.
Sure.
Is that why it is possible then for folks to have had a closed door meeting
Sure.
without 399,000 of you?
Yes.
And even of those who had the conversation, maybe they're about 20.
Yes.
399,880 people
Yeah.
left out of this conversation. Do you see now why it's possible to have had the conversation without you?
Yeah.
1.6 billion shillings a month is not little money.
It's not little money.
Sure.
So when you have those conversations, also when you can see why it was possible to have the conversation, you also see why it is important for you to have been in the conversation.
Yes.
Because all of this now turns on its axis.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
And what happens to teachers now who have to go seek medical care? Because that's what we're talking about. Leave the politics and the money aside if you can for a minute.
Yeah.
If we're looking at 300,000+ teachers then who are not able to go to a medical facility to access medical care
Sure.
because it just doesn't exist, paints the bigger picture of what's happening with healthcare in the country.
So thank you so much. Let me quickly respond to that. You see, as teachers, we really never bothered so much about the money.
Yeah.
All we needed was service for the money.
Yeah.
And it is good to put it clear, like you've said it, that we used to have 2 medical covers in our pay slips. One, it is a statutory requirement
Yeah,
that
which was
every civil
NHIF that
servant,
time,
which
yeah.
was NHIF, you need to contribute 2.7% of
Yeah,
your
which is now
salary.
SHA.
And then we used to have our now medical allowance, which was taken off from the payslip in 2015, I think.
Yeah, 2015.
And we were told now, teachers, it is not good for you to go lining up in public hospitals with other citizens.
To show that you are sick.
Yes, to show that you are sick. Now, what we are going to do,
take
let us take these 3,000 from a payslip
And give
go
you
get you
comprehensive.
a private comprehensive medical cover,
Yeah.
so that as a teacher, when you feel ill, you don't need to go to a public facility.
line up at
You don't go line up there.
dispensary.
Yes, go to Bliss Hospital, which is a private facility,
Yeah,
get treated,
which will-
and when it began, it was very okay.
Very okay.
Because as myself
beautiful.
as Salim, when I'm feeling that najua maneno si mzuri, I only need
Unajua
to go
mahali
to
pa kwenda.
yes, I go to Bliss Hospital and then I get the treatment. So there is one question we also need to ask this morning. When the presentation was being made between our unions and our employer, there were some slides which were shared to us at the end of the meeting. And when you look at the last of the slide, and maybe I will share that at the end of the show, it is very specific that a teacher will only access the medical cover after exhausting the SHA medical cover. Exactly.
Just say that again.
I've said that a teacher will get to access his or her medical cover after exhausting the SHA cover, the SHA fund.
SHA fund.
Why am I saying this? You see, we've said that we used to get our
adopted
medical
twice.
allowance.
Yeah.
And this medical allowance, as per what was presented, has been pushed to what we call POMSF,
Yes.
Public Officers Medical Scheme Fund.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
So that is what they're telling us, that this medical allowance has now been taken somewhere called Public Officers Medical Scheme Fund, right? So you have first of all to exhaust SHA, and then in fact they've called it a top-up. That is the word.
Yeah.
So you exhaust SHA first of all, and then you go now access the top-up. So our 3,000 has now been called top-up.
It's a top-up.
It's a top-up. So this morning, as I wind up maybe on that area, the Teacher Service Commission presented this to us,
Yeah.
and it is called Medical Health Cover for Teachers and Their Dependents under Public Officers Medical
Yes.
Scheme Fund.
Yes.
And that is the table of
Have
the
given us-
beneficiary here. So the teachers are asking themselves, is this under the Public Officers Medical Scheme Fund or
Or
this is
the
SHA?
SHA. You see, there is SHA, there's she,
So that's the-
there is SHA. SHA. Okay, let me let me not miss it. She is like the NHIF. It's
Yes, the insurance
It's
now.
actually the NHIF.
It's the insurance, yes.
Yes. Then the SHA comes
the
in
fund.
again. Now it's the fund. So generally, those things are also confusing. There is a way they're playing with those words that is really confusing teachers. The issue is this: funding. And that calculation that you've made is very important for this conversation today. Teachers need to realize that everything nowadays we talk about in this country as we go towards Singapore, the journey of Singapore,
Yeah.
is business and funding. When I started this debate, I don't know if it was on this show or some other show, and I even went to some place and we tried to present a court issue. I have been met actually personally with life threats, calls. People call you and say, you are joking with some people's businesses.
Okay.
So even as we discuss
Oh,
this
now you,
conversation,
Amunga, as
me
you're
as
having this
Amunga,
conversation, you're
yes.
meddling in business. Okay.
I have meddled in business. I have been called in big offices to be told, you have to stop that debate. You have to stop that debate quickly. But the thing is, teachers are people you can't silence. I like teachers for one thing. Teachers are among the first people in this country who respond to issues,
Yeah.
even be it politics.
Yeah.
If you have got teachers on your side, if you're a politician, you are on a very good side. That's why our meeting at State House was there, to put our politics, that politics of that day, right.
Right. You see, Mwalimu, with the sabu that Ndu has just done of 1.7 billion, I look at it purely from a political angle and the blunders that the government did when it was implementing SHA.
Yeah.
Why do I talk about that? Every other time you're being told that around 22 million Kenyans are registered under SHA, but only 3 million are contributing. That leaves a deficit in this fund that cannot take care of Kenyans. Because remember again, Kenyans are entitled to universal health care, right? Therefore, where do we go? Low-hanging fruits. Where? walimu. Because if you sit down and do your mathematics, that is an additional 1.7 billion shillings
to the
into
fund.
the kitty that will go into servicing Kenyans, including those who are not paying. I am sorry, but this entire business of going to State House and sitting down with the president and your unions taking you there, it's because you are pawns, you were chess,
pawns in the game.
and you were just being taken there so that you agree on that which you are not.
You've
told.
just taken the words out of my
All
mouth.
this was a political gimmick to fix teachers into something that they did not see. This fight, your union was part of it. I think, I do not know. But there is a possibility that all that we are seeing here was something that was well calculated before teachers went to State House. But even as